Alright, on to another day. So far we've just continued recovering from stability as well as continuing to build up this province. I'm getting the full benefit of the province too, which is amazing. I cannot afford to lose this ability. Tosa, Falki, and Wakaza. Wakaza's over here. That's fine. Tosa is this province. Well, the turmoil is going to be gone in 2.5 years. Falky is over here. Oh, fine. I really didn't want to add more fuel to the Yamada fire, but I cannot afford to take another stab hit. A stab hit will produce almost as much unrest, and in addition, I would lose a lot more. Well, my legitimacy resting point would be 20 lower, plus all the negatives to trade power, tax efficiency, and whatnot. It will be even longer before I get back to normal levels of stability. At least now I'm earning 15 per year now that the revocation of privileges modifier no longer applies. So it should only take 4 years. Right? No, 3 years. Yeah, 3 times 15 is 45, so yep, just 3 more years. Then I'll no longer have all of this up here. I mean, the Liturgy Desire is okay-ish. Although I don't actually need it. Since my own Liberty Desire is already 95%. The reason why I want it high is twofold. First off, no vassal tax, so I earn more money. The one time that's not the case is if my tax income happens to be negative, which is only the case if I have enough overextension. To basically counteract my entire tax income. However, since I've been centralizing, my tax income has been increasing constantly. So it would take a lot of overextension for me to actually lose money. The other is transfer trade power. I would have to give up half of my own trade power, which is honestly pretty bad. I do not want to do that. It's a terrible idea. Right, now it's time to play the same old waiting game of waiting for that herb population to hit 10,000. Then I can build the town hall. I should have enough money by that point anyway. Since it's only going to take about 8 months or so for me to collect that money. Oh no, that means this is no longer the seat of strong aristocrats. How sad. Okay, average autonomy is now 49.5%. Yeah. I can't wait for that money to start rolling into my coffers. As long as nothing else gets a seat of strong aristocrats, that would be annoying. Okay, education level is good. That's not very much fire, but okay. The modern castle. Hmm. Ugh. I do feel a little bit tired. Oh well. Ah, looks like the province is finally producing urban goods. Or at least enough for the... They're producing enough production power that the province interface is actually displaying it. That, or the game, it's enough for the game to finally acknowledge, okay, sure, let's put that there. Let's start calculating it. Because I figure 0.02 ducats per month, I mean per year, is not enough to justify a modifier. At least not a full-scale one. Besides, the value for mundane urban goods is... well... yeah, it's a bit of a strange... I can't quite calculate that. That's more than 2/3, but it's still pretty close. I guess 70%? Or maybe 3/4? No, it can't. Can it be 3/4? Oh, 3 divided by... well, 3 times 3 is 9. 9 divided by 4 is 2. Actually, I've got a calculator right here. Let me just... 3.15 divided by 2.2... oh, no, actually, I want it the other way around. 2.27 divided by 3.15... 72%. That's not enough to justify it. I'll just ignore it for now. 5 prestige or 5 legitimacy? Legitimacy, is it? Yeah, kind of is that valuable. Prestige isn't. I'll get it back later anyway. No longer a great power. Heh. Heh, 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 heh. Okay. A description of Imperial funeral. So, the old emperor died and a new one has been born. Not a new one has taken the throne, not been born. Profiteering in Osaka. Satu. Neither of these modifiers are great. Because I'll take even more trade power. The cost of trade value. Now, that event is actually pretty good if you have a next to worthless province, because there are two modifiers, either -2 unrest, plus 10%, or is it 15%? Plus 10% trade power and minus 50% trade value. That one is never really a good one, except in provinces that have a lot of trade power but very little trade value. Basically, trade centers that don't yet have big cities on them. The other one is plus 2 unrest, minus 10% trade power, but plus 0.25 trade power. That one's most useful for a random province in the middle of nowhere. You know, like in Siberia or something. So long as the unrest isn't an issue. An example for me that would be fine with me would be, say, Falky or Bingo or Bidiu. Those barely have any trade power. So the minus 10%, so the plus 0.25 outweighs the minus 10%. Yeah, the base is 1. It would increase to 1.25, however the minus 10% means that I would reduce it by 0.125, so I would gain 0.125. And then that's not even including the rest of the trade power efficiency modifiers in that province. Anyway, I'll get caravels after, well, once the penalty disappears. Since there's no point in doing anything but waiting, so long as the education modifier actually stays. Because it's been oscillating a lot recently. The reason why I hasn't done it recently, is because I put a ton of money in all at once. In fact, I'll do it again, just to be sure. Besides, I was going to put a similar amount of money in anywhere. It should be fine. Besides, all I have to do is build up my universities. Just have to quietly wait for the population to hit 10k. It just did, okay. Yep. 28 months. Yeah, okay, so I won't get a reduced cost for anything else after I build this. I don't think I'd be able to afford a university anyway. Some of the current rate of gain money. How much money do I gain each month? Last time I remember it was approximately 10. Now it's approximately 13. Might be from the increased amount of trade power from my main province, though. As well as its steadily rising amounts of tax production. Why? Because wealth is increasing. Wealth increases by a certain amount each year based upon literally exports of extra food or agricultural products. Like here it's indigo dye, which actually isn't a food. But yeah. Second is from trade power, which has jumped in this province. And finally there's urban production, which, while almost non-existent at the moment, is steadily increasing as the population increases too. Interesting, once I build this town hall, I figured the urban gravity is going to be around 25? No, it's going to be over 25. But by how much? It's a 1.3 times modifier. It would be... Well, I already have commune hall, so it would increase the base amount by 5. Making the base 16.66 with the times 1.35 modifier. Lovely. Well, the 0.135 is approximately a third, and a third of 16.66 is the same as a third of 6. Well, of 2/3. This is the same as 5/3 of 10. Okay. So 10/9. No. Yeah. No. 1/3. Well, it's a plus. It's a times 1.35 modifier, so it's approximately 4/3. So 5/3 times 4/3 of 10 is 20/3. No, that's not how to calculate. Never mind. I'll just deal with it when it comes. No, I'll just keep calculating here. It's just that I just need a bit of time to think. Modifier disappeared. What was it? Guess maybe turmoil? I don't know. So what's 1/3 of 16.66? Well, I can add the 1/3 of 10 and 1/3 of 16.66. Which is 3.333 plus 2.222, so 5.555. Add that to the base of 16.66, so a little over 20. So it should go again and maximize the urban population gain, at least for a while. Then if I decide to build the university, yeah. Of course, there's also the possibility that I build the workshop instead. Ah, sad. Yeah, that reduces my income somewhat. Think about that. You know, I should actually check inflation. That song just played. Let's pick one of the tribal songs because that's not going to come up. Or at least it's unlikely to come up. Yeah, those only play if you have a tribal government. Or at least that's a much... Shan Confederacy. That'd be a formable. I don't know. Anyway. Probably should do that before the month goes. Yeah, situation isn't stellar. Even I'd admit that. Finally! A normal amount of stability. Okay, right, time to... Now that the worst is finally over, so is... Not a threat if... Yep. Not a threat whatsoever. And Suwa. Oh. No? Oh yeah, it's those guys. Okay. I think I can go ahead and raise army maintenance. Force limit of 8. That's gonna be a lot of money to increase. And I don't really need that much more of an army to fight off a couple of the proto-daimyos. Although, by this point, yeah, the definition of daimyo came around 1444. Well, around that time period. At the very least, just beforehand, before the next evolution of whatever the Japanese subjects were. It came, yeah, so it came around at that point. So I probably can call them not proto-daimyos, but just directly daimyos, since it's by now that time. I would actually have to look up when the concept of a daimyo first evolved. I actually could go ahead and do that. Let's see here, Google, yeah, so the Shugo daimyo were the first group of men to hold the title daimyo. They rose from the Shugo. And they hold basically military, police, and economic powers within the province. Among Interesting. So the Sengoku daimyos were pretty much the Japanese subjects of the Sengoku period. Which was the time period of, well, the EU4 start date. This this changed again at the start of the Edo period, which was in 1600. The daimyos were reorganized into 200 Hans, assessed by rice production. The Hans that had 50,000 or more bushels of rice were considered daimyos. And after the Meiji Restoration in 1869, the 200 daimyos were redistributed into 75 prefectures. Some of the previous daimyos ended up being rulers of the prefectures, but only for a short period. And then called en masse to Tokyo so that they no longer had the capability to rebel. The reason why the Emperor was even able to, the Emperor was able to reorganize territories like this was because of the collapse of the feudal economy, which kept them from having enough power to rebel. Of course, having control of vast territories of land meant that they had enough money to easily work with. Huh? They seem a lot softer. Oh well. Gotta get my navy Under control. I'll declare war next month. Or just now. How many favors? 40. Yeah. I'll call in some favors. Not because I actually need them, it's mainly just so that they can deal with Suwa over there. Heavily restrict looting. I do not need. I want to conquer the provinces. Directly. Yeah. I guess they could have always been called daimyos. It's just that's kind of like how the relationship between kings and their subjects in Europe, and honestly almost every society. Evolution of culture is something that's pretty consistent throughout human history and human civilizations. Cultures slowly change, evolve, and incorporate new ideas. I mean, that's part of the point of it. It's a way for people to store vast amounts of knowledge in a short period. Wait. Maybe I should have been paying more attention. I need more troops to siege that town. They're my allies. Fort being obsolete. Oh, local fortifications are obsolete now. At least for those that have that next. Yep. Level 15 makes local fortifications act obsolete. Great. That's gonna be enough troops. And thankfully it doesn't seem like they're going to be setting them anywhere that's currently being sieged. Although it looks like I might lose the province. Oh, so that's where that one is, okay. If I get there fast, in fact, if I... I'm gonna wait until they... Yeah, because if I get there quickly... I'm gonna wait until their movement is locked, so... To minimize risk to self. Because a fort with a garrison less than 100 will be automatically taken. Heck, I've got a 30... Siege status 38. Must be from the lack of garrison. So I'll get it back immediately. Run? Last thing I need is to lose a quarter of their troops. Because while I do want the greater nobles to weaken, I don't want to lose out too much in the process. Thankfully they only have infantry, so... Well, I do seem to be at a bit of a disadvantage in the fire phase. The shock phase should be a lot more devastating. Yeah. Their morale just drained. Cavalry is so freaking good. Anyway, with the invention of the printing press, it's just a capital upgrade, isn't it? While researching the printing press, it was painfully slow to copy a book by hand, and carved wooden block prints were nearly as difficult to make. The invention of movable type by Johann Gutenberg in the 1430s spurred a new wave of cheaply printed books and a change from book printers to publishing houses. I am going to say this. I am fully aware that the printing press was first invented in China. However, it was not nearly as useful for China as it was for Europe. The simple reason being that China's pictographical nature means that there was oftentimes a different symbol for different words. Now, this might not be the case for, say, it's been a while since I've actually heard about that. I guess Korean? Is Korean one with alphabeticalized language? Could be Japan. Yeah, I think Japan. On the other hand, doesn't Japan have multiple writing systems for the same language? Well. Movable type is not nearly as useful for a language based upon words compared to a language based upon either syllables, which is still not great, or full-scale letters, which is actually pretty good. Basically, the fewer symbols that you have, the better. Up to a certain point. I don't think Morse code would be a good thing to work with. Especially since one mistake is very difficult to spot, whereas... So, yeah. If you miss a dash or a dot in Morse code, it's kind of difficult to fix that issue. Whereas if, for example, with, the word the, if you mix up the T and the H, making te, most people are going to realize, oh, yeah, that's what that is. Although they may have to look at it twice in order to be sure. Eh, 60% chance of church displeasure. I don't like either of these modifiers. The risk is... well, Falky is fine, so I'll just sort of do the arrest for vagrancy, and... It's gonna hit prestige and a little bit of military power, but... Yeah, so the next hall level is almost done building, but due to the fact that I've been paying my troops full now, their full maintenance, plus also the noble levies as well. I don't have enough money for the university, nor the workshop. Those both cost the same amount. I'm still not sure if I want to do workshop at university. Our heir is a fanatical priest. Huh. Might as well introduce. Yearly support. Nice. 14 ducats. On the other hand, it will raise average autonomy by 5%. On the other hand, there's no reason not to. Yeah. Additionally, I plan to, after I've hit one stab and research that next level of tech, to change from delegated rulers to a full-scale bureaucracy. Okay, so that siege is done. Ah, joy. No, I can't do that yet. Oh, right. Now that I'm able to, I'll send a merchant there to transfer trade power from the North Chinese node. Oh, Honghe Basin. Honestly, all I have now to work with is just waiting for my ally to finish sieging down the other enemy. In fact, I think I owe lower army maintenance, since there's no more enemies left. Reinforcements. Wow, that is expensive. Nah, I'm not gonna reinforce the levies anyway. Additionally, if I want to take advantage of this in the future, I should start building up their spy network. I won't be needing this spy network anymore anyway, so... Maybe I can convince their subject to help out. Your liberty desire is 0%, right? So that's all it says, right? Fine. So which ones are the noble levies? There. Off you go. Enjoy. think my ally may have run out of manpower. That would be fast. That's pretty much all they've done so far is just siege down a province. It's not that they ran out of manpower. I guess some attrition hit them really hard for some reason. Anyway, let's check and see. Yeah, I can build a university here now. Yeah, it's not enough to affect autonomy, and unrest is, well, a bit bad. It's most of all from here, so it'll be gone eventually. Besides, the benefit from cheaper education, or well, better structured education, outweighs the costs. Additionally, there's a chance for me to get that local center of the arts, which would be helpful. Although not by that much. Why is it higher all of a sudden? Yeah, I think after this war I'm gonna go ahead and stop since it's approaching time. Ooh, yes! Wait, no. Ah, that contributed less because I've been paying less maintenance. There we go. Let's do your trade. Bend over, give gold. Treat the soldiers well. Quite a bit of money. Without any of the negative side effects. Alright, I still have the admin points to core this province once it gets around to it. I might as well end the year. Good, a new Shogo. That means I won't be hit by the seat of strong aristocrats modifier. Because that is annoying as hell to deal with. Okay. How many years have been played? Over the course of approximately an hour? 6 years. Interesting. Well then, until tomorrow.